guest here on We Connect this week is Professor Rooshikumar Pandya. Now, he's one of our country's finest trainers. He's here in the city on a very short visit, very, very short indeed, just for the day, in fact. But he's giving us of his very valuable time. So I know you go all over the country. Just thinking offhand, can I ask, how much do you do in the South?
The maximum training I've done in India is in South. Would you believe?
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Oh.
As a matter of fact, I've been coming to Chennai since 1974.
Really?
And I've been in love with the city ever since.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that very much.
I tell you what happened. When I came here, I got up the plane. I saw that mountain. I saw that it's a beautiful mountain. They told me there's St. Thomas's
St. Thomas Mount,
and
yes.
that did it for me, because
yes, it's a beautiful
for me he represents an ultimate academician, who asked Christ, and how do we know that you are the guy we buried?
Right, right.
I want to check it.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful spot.
So,
yes, that's true. So now, if you do the most in the South, what is it? Is it that people you believe that this side of the country are more aware of the actual necessity, the need for people to be trained?
They value learning, I think, here more. See, North people are more entrepreneurial. It's a different mindset than here. Here is more academic background. The learning is valued. Academic qualifications are valued. So at one time, maximum number of people in civil servants came from this part of the country. Now it's changing. It's Bihar and UP.
That's
but
true.
At one time there was always from here.
Right. In your experience, when you do these training programs, do you find that you have a lot of people who are not necessarily in some organization, just people, just individuals, just maybe people from other walks of life, people who just maybe want to come and learn about this, learn what you're talking about?
Most certainly. I did a lot of public seminars through Indo-American Society and Creative Communication Center at one time for about 15 years.
Right.
At that time, anybody could walk in. So I had people who were truck drivers, and the people who were executives in a company, and people who were psychologists, and people who were medical doctors. And it was the most exciting for me as a challenge, because there's an absolutely heterogeneous group.
Right.
And so their needs are different, their demands are different, their learning capacity is different. As a teacher, it was a great challenge.
Right. What is, of course, very interesting as we speak here is that people are now aware that this is a necessity. It is a necessary evil. You have to absolutely get yourself trained in these areas. Do you see it getting better? Do you see this becoming more popular? Do you see, for instance, children, school levels, is that an area that one even thinks about?
Yes, I think, first of all, it's not necessarily evil, it's necessarily good.
I know, it was just a way of saying it, expression. I take it back.
Okay, so, yes, it is. People are becoming much more aware of training. But at the same time, as far as children are concerned, you are depriving them of their childhood by overloading them with learning. Because I have kids who parents come to me, so my son goes at 5 o'clock in the morning for tuition and comes home in the evening after school with tuition 6 o'clock. I say, are you crazy? What are you doing to your kid?
But the system is like that, Professor Pandya. What is a mother? What is a parent?
Then it's not a good system.
Perhaps it isn't, but that's so be it. That's the way it is. What do you do?
You don't want such a system, because you're ruining people and you're creating stress, and therefore, right now, for example, latest research, one of the major causes of death in India is failing an exam and suicide.
That I know.
Because you put so much demand on the guy to pass and do great, and if he cannot save his face. And a traditional society, saving face is a very, very crucial part.
Right.
And India is a traditional society.
True. So how do you make these societal changes then that you're talking about here? How does it actually happen? Practically tell me how.
Over-demanding parents who think that what they couldn't do, their children should do. And they put so much demand on their kids to perform, so to work, and deprive them of a whole bunch of pleasures of childhood.
Right. You have trained most corporate houses in the country.
Yes, about 100 of them.
I know, who's who of business almost. I was looking at that list. What about parents? What about at the school level? Do you ever actually approach schools and do a lot of work? Please tell me about that. I'm interested to know.
And this is precisely what I tell them. One more thing I tell them, that allow the kids to become what they want. Don't push them all into engineering or science or MBA. Let them do something that they wish to do. So they'll be passionate about it and therefore will excel. Here you are putting stress on them. The person who has a 60% mark and I get a phone call, please get him admission in engineering. I said, maybe he doesn't want to become an engineer.
That's right.
I didn't want to become an engineer.
Right.
And I was quite good in school.
Right, right. But you know, I am seeing though a lot of people, a lot of parents whom I know personally, who are now actually backing off and saying, go do what you want. However, the do what you want, if my son or daughter wants to go and sit on the beach and be playing music all night, if at the end of it he or she is going to become a rock star, that's fine. Right. But where does a parent draw the line?
Maybe the parent can tell the child, do what you want, but become excellent at it.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that very much.
And do passionately. Give all you got.
Absolutely. Yeah. What importance do you believe that we pay in our country to excellence in anything that we do?
Not much.
That's sad.
Unfortunately. Yes, it is
That's
sad.
sad.
Very sad.
How do we teach people that if you are good in something, just be the best you can be, you know?
That's the culture we'll have to cultivate. See, when you are, the entire education system about getting a job, you know, and placement at the end of the training or the certification, then excellence doesn't come, you know. You have to instill that right from day one, you know. And what to me excellence comes at all levels. Just to give you an example, there's in Mumbai, there's a dargah, you know, next to Bombay Hospital. And there's a kid who sits there, about 13-year-old. And as people go inside the dargah, they take the shoes and chappals outside. Yes. And he just watches them. He has a long stick. And he never looks up. When the people come out, without looking at them, he just passes the chappals to them.
Really?
Yeah.
Excellence, that is.
And think about if that kid was taught, how well will he do? You know. To me, that is excellence.
Yes,
in a small act.
Yes. But it takes somebody like you to actually take note of that little boy sitting there outside the dargah. You know,
when Richard Burton, one of the finest actors in the world, he was selected by a director when he was serving in a restaurant as a waiter. The way he moved, the director spotted this guy will make the best actor.
Right. Now, this is a final question and a personal one.
Sure.
After so many years abroad, you decided to come back to India. What was it that drew you back home?
Indian classical music.
Really? I know you're an expert there as well, right?
Yes.
But where do you find the time now?
I have all the time.
You do?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I think you're wonderful. You're probably an expert in time management as well.
Which Indians generally are not.
Right. And that's
because
true.
Because we got eternity.
Gosh, we are not in many things of joys come out of this interview. Yes. But Professor Pandya, it's been my pleasure to have you on the show. I'm extremely grateful to you, sir. Thank you very much. And all the best in the work that you're doing. May you just continue to grow from height to height.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Thank you very much indeed. Well, that's all we have time for here on Reconnect. It's been wonderful that you could join us, and it's been wonderful for me to have the pleasure to talk to Professor Pandya today. And don't forget to keep watching this show every single weekend. Remember, this is the show on which you will always meet people who are interesting, people who are fascinating, and I believe that people who always have something to teach us, people who have a story to tell us. And so until the next time, you take care. Bye for now.